digest. From lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire.
Hi guys, and welcome to THFC Till I Die, home of Tottenham past, present, and exciting future under Thomas Frank as he leads us to glory in the 25-26 season as the Tottenham side head into the Champions League and many more trophies to come. Can we build on success of that Europa League win? I think we can, but I'm just delusional and you know me for that. Guys, yes, I am solo tonight. They've let the loony run wild in the asylum. So let's see what mischief I could get up to tonight. It's been a very slow day news-wise. There's really little bit to talk about. But I want to ask you guys a question. Sonny. Now, we know we are going to talk a bit about Sonny later on. But it got me thinking that with the Asian tour coming up and Sonny being so essential to that Asian tour, if Sonny doesn't play, then they lose 50% of the income. If he comes and doesn't play any of the matches, then they get down to 75% of the income. Are the club being a bit unfair on Sonny? And do you know, is football now become too market? Is football now become that it's more about marketing and it's more about business and it's not about the sport. It's not about the game that we all love to watch and all get excited over. Has money really taken over the game? And where should Sonny should be allowed to make his own decision? Should it be down to him? Should it be down to him? I want to go and say, we know that it's Los Angeles Football Club that I've put an offer for him. Should Sonny say to Levy, look, I want to go there now? I don't think he will, because I think he want to say goodbye and he want to do it properly. But does Sonny deserve more respect than he's getting at the moment? And I think he does. But look, guys, let me know in the chat what you think about. And this is about you. Let me know what you want me to talk about tonight. I've got a bit of news, a little bit of a bit of news on Mikey Moore, got a little bit of news on the naming rights and other bits and pieces, guys. But it's down to you tonight. You guide me where we go with this show. You guide me where we go with the show tonight. I want to welcome a few people in. Big up to Giant68. Says, big up, Dermo. Panel and chat. Coys. Dermo, that intro music is an earworm. Earworm. LOL. I think it's quite groovy. I like it. I like it. It's very 80s sort of 1980s rock. I mean, you can just imagine Colum sitting there with his mullet, really just getting into it. I can see him doing it. I suppose that he did record that in the 80s with Mr. Brady on the drums. Big up to you, Mr. Brady. He says MGW has gone to Portugal. Is that the end of him to Spurs? No. I think Morgan Gibbs, right, Philip, is doing it the right way. Look, there's two ways he could have done this. Now, we all know that every day we know the start of it, Spurs have matched the release clause. So Forest are playing hardball here. So Morgan Gibbs White's got two options. Either he goes along what Forest are doing, and hopefully it gets sorted out. Or secondly, he kicks up a fuss and he threatens to sue them. If you don't let me go, I ain't gonna turn up for training and I'm not going to do this. Douglas Luiz is doing this at Juventus at the moment. He hasn't turned up for training. And there's all sorts of fines flying around all over the place. But I was watching another channel tonight, and one of the panel people put it brilliantly. If Gibb White comes to us, or Douglas Luiz come for us, and say Manchester City or Real Madrid come in for them, are they going to pull the full stunt again? Is Douglas Luiz going to say, I ain't coming into training? Sorry, I ain't coming in. I think Morgan Gibbs White's doing the right thing. He's keeping his head down and he's letting the club sort it out. It will get done at the end. It will happen. He will be a Spurs player. Now, we all want this still done really quickly, but I think it's going to take time. Sadly, it's going to take time. And I think Tottenham will have to just leave a couple of people on that and also get into our other targets as well. So, it will get done, Philip. He will be a Spurs player. That is for sure. I'm just meant to keep my... Sorry, I meant to keep my other tab open on me on the monitor for any breaking news. And that's right. I am leaving that. Big up Dwayne Bonner. Good evening, everyone. Hope you're all well. Nice to see the unusual quiet Tottenham transfer win. Yeah, it's as quiet as anything. It's like the night before, the day before Christmas. Big up Simon Cohen. Big up to you. Simon says another day Soddle. I know it's the same everywhere, isn't it? It really is. Big up Philip. Sonny knows the time has come. Yeah, I think he does too. You could say the matches on tour are Sonny's testimonial. Do you know what? That's a very good point. And I think you might be right in that. I really, really do. Big up to you. It says big up Philip, big up Simon. We've got Emmanuel. Big up Mr. E. Sonny deserves respect. Yeah, at some point we know he's weakening. We need to give him the option to do as he likes. Faithful servant. Yeah, Sonny's earned the right. I said it the other night. Sonny for me is, and people are going to shoot me down for this, but Sonny for me is a bigger Spurs legend than Harry Kane. Now I know Harry Kane's I know probably Philip's chucking something that the TV right about now, or chucking he's probably going, what the hell's Dermo on about? But hear me out. Sonny stuck at it for 10 years. He never wavered in his belief that he would win something at Tottenham Hotspur. And he got his reward at the end of last season by winning the Europa League. Harry Kane, for all his goals he scored for us, for everything he gave us, couldn't wait to get out, to go to another team to win something somewhere else. And I just feel, I know he's gone to Bayern Munich and he's won a trophy. Great. Well, you can send Postman Pat to Bayern Munich and he would end up winning the league title because Bayern Munich win it every year, bar I think the first season Kane got there. I think staying at Tottenham, winning something at Tottenham, I think it's more satisfying than going to another club where you know you're going to win something and win something. Yes, you're delighted you've won a medal. Yes, you're delighted you've won something. But when you sit back at it, when you're retired, when you look back at it, are you going to say, do you know what? I should have stayed at Spurs. I could have been a European winner. And I just feel Sonny is more of a Spurs legend than Harry Kane. Harry Kane is a legend, but I think Sonny gets more respect from me than Harry. I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me in the comments on that, and probably it's a little bit controversial, but it's how I feel and it's what I think. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. Do you agree? Don't you agree? Let me know the reasons why you don't agree. Be interested. Big up Terry White. Big up to you, Terry. MGW has grounds to break his contract and leave if he wants. They are violating his employment rights by refusing to honor the release clause. If not for us, then whoever comes next to bid. He is coming to Spurs. Manchester City have ruled themselves out of it. They don't want to go in anymore. You are right. They have broke his contract. So he's in his right to turn around to Forest and say, I'm going to sue you. But I think he's the sort of player that won't do that. He doesn't want to rock the boat. He wants to leave on good terms with Nottingham Forest. And I think it's down to Spurs to come in to Forest and say, look, here's a little extra, sweeten the deal. And I think they'll take it. And I think also the Forest owner's trying to save face because they've already sold one of their best players to Newcastle. And I think to lose two great players from that team will be very hard to replace. And I think, you know, I just think Morgan Gibbs White will do it. And I respect him for doing it the right way. I really do. I really do respect him. The percent drop if Sunday doesn't play has probably been enforced during previous Far East tours. There was no mention of Sunday. No, there wasn't. There really wasn't. And look, I think Sonny deserves to do what Sonny wants to do. I really do. Fully agree, Dermot. Big up, Philip. Thank you, Mr. E as well. Winning anything with Spurs is bigger than winning the league in Bayern. A guaranteed trophy is no fun. Exactly. Look, Harry Kane is a legend in his own right at Tottenham. Our top goal scorer beat the great Jimmy Greaves' record. Yeah, fantastic. Was a savior for us. No, every time he played, he got his points. He got his win. He got his points from the jaws of a defeat. He got us a one from the jaws of getting a point. But Sonny has been faithful through thick and thin, never wavered in his belief that we will win something one day. And I just think Sonny is a bit more of a hero, a legend. But look, you can't take away what Harry achieved with us. You can't. But in major finals, and it's not everyone's opinion, but there is opinions out there in some of the finals he went missing. He should never have started the Champions League final. And we all agree on that. We all agree Mora should have started that final, but it is what it is. But I'm just so pleased Sonny got his medal. I really am. Guys, look, we're only sort of, I think, 8 away from 2,100. I think I'm just going to double check now. I would love to get there tonight, guys, if we could. It would mean a hell of a lot to me and the guys on the channel. Yeah, we're at 2,092. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We're only 7 away. So let's see, can we get to 2,100 tonight? Come on, 7 of you. Just share it. Share it around. Get your brother, get your sister, get your aunt, get your wife to subscribe. And do that, and it really would mean the world to us all. Also, pick up your memberships as well, guys. We are going to do some membership videos over the next few days. I'm doing a members video tomorrow afternoon about 3 o'clock, I think. I'll be doing it for a preview for the Luton game and the Wickham game. Going to have me and Steve's, I think, pre-game thoughts. There will be a video going out as well with our predicted lineups as well. So we're going to do that as a separate members video as well. Our predicted lineup for the game. So do get your memberships and join us for that. And then what we're going to do is I will download the videos and I'll put it out then for your non-members then for later on that evening. But if you do pick up your memberships, do join us and get your thoughts in on what we're going to talk about. And of course, post-match reactions will be a members video as well. And I'm doing that Saturday at 7 o'clock. I think I'm doing that. But guys, let's crack on with it. That's what we're here for. It's the transfer window update daily show. And here we're going to start with this one with Alfie Devine. Millwall are now eyeing a permanent deal. Mute. Am I on mute? I'm not on mute, I don't think. Can people hear me? Am I on mute? Hang on. Can people hear me all right? Just let me know if you can. Can people hear me? I'll just But now, how's that? Can you all hear me now? Good. Hopefully you can. Giant, big up Giant 68. How the hell did Lever get the freedom in London City? I didn't even know he even got that. Now it's muted. Okay, how's that? Now good. Okay, good. Right, we're there. Right, Millwall are now eyeing a permanent deal for one Tottenham youngster with the Championship side keen to strengthen ahead of the new season. It is understood that Tottenham midfielder Alfie Devine is now a target for Millwall, who are actively pursuing more additions to their squad ahead of the upcoming campaign. Look, I don't look for me. I think Alfie Devine should stay at Spurs. I think he will make it into the first team. I think he made a really impression on me against Reading on Saturday. I think him and Mikey Moore grew into the game in that first half. I really do. But yeah, look, I cannot put him out on loan. I think so. I think a loan might do him good. One more loan might do him good. But he's got the talent, hasn't he? I think going to Millwall, I don't think that's a good move for him. I really don't. Look, we have links with Millwall over the years. Teddy Sheringham, who played for us, started his career at Millwall. Neil Roddick played at Millwall as well. We've had links for Tony Cascarino as well. Great Irish international and Irish legend, started his career at Millwall. And Millwall have this thing about Millwall saying no one likes us and we don't care. Well, I don't particularly like Millwall, but I don't think that's a good fit for Alfie Devine. But it's up to him. If he wants first team football and he wants regular minute first team footballs, then he might say, do you know what? I'll go for that. But for me, I just feel he's got the talent to really change Thomas Franks. And I think this is why these double headers are happening on Saturday as well. These are the final opportunity for players to prove to Thomas Frank, I want to be part of your plans. And that's going to be very interesting to see who gets picked to go on to the tour and who gets left behind. The ones that get left behind, more or less, are the ones that are going to be sold or put out on loan. So we have to wait and see. Let's see what people think about this. Another Tom Carroll. I think it's a bit harsh, Gerard, to be fair. I think Alfie Devine... Look, Tom Carroll... Look, had his chance, didn't take it, but I think Alfie Devine is on another level. I do. I think he's a really gifted footballer. And I think if he proved that on Saturday against Reading, him and Mikey Moore linked up very well. And I just think he grew into the game. And the more the game... Did he start the first half or the second half? I can't remember. But anyway, he grew into the game and he really showed what he's about. Really did. Big up Terry White. Big up to What's the Point FC. What's happening? The Dermo Terminator. I don't know. Just talking about transfer news. We won't give him a chance, says Mr. E. We don't give kids anyway the first team a best couple of cup games and the sub at 8. Look, I agree with you. Look, do you look? I remember back in just got moved that. I remember back in the 80s where we gave players a chance like Mickey Hazard or Alistair Dick back in the day. Players like that, Nick Barmby came through the academy and made an impression in the first team. And Jason, not Jason, did Jason Cundy come through our academy? I think he might have done. He scored against Ipswich with that goal from the halfway line. We've got a few players that came through our academy. And I think we should give youngsters a chance. We really should give youngsters a chance. Big up to Jared, get some experience, and he was sold for a tiny profit. Perfect for Mr. Levy. David Clark, big up to you, David. Hope you're doing well and hope everything is all right in Leicester. Devine won't make it into Frank's side, nor will Moore. Moore has more time in his hands to be patient, but sorry, Devine hasn't raised his ceiling in the last 18 months. Do you know what? That, as much as I like Alfie Devine, I think you make a very good sort of point. He has had his chances. So, but would you sell him, David, or would you loan him out? What would you do? I don't think Devine is a top 6 talent. Do you know, players do develop players do develop at different rates. Maybe he's a late developer, but no, I get it. I do understand. You wouldn't know that Moore was playing if you didn't know the starting lineup. I think it's a bit harsh. I thought Mikey Moore and Devine grew into that first half. But maybe that's just my opinion, and that's what football is about, opinions, isn't it? It's all about it's all about opinions, and opinions is what it is. And look, I get it. Not everyone has to agree. And I'm sorry, Devine did basic things, but it certainly didn't shine. I'd like to see more get loaned out to Dortmund. No, that'd be interesting. That's a very interesting one. Terry, it's a good level. It's the Bundesliga as well. And Dortmund have a way of looking after young players and progressing them. And I think that'd be, do you know what? I don't think that'd be a bad move. Don't think that'd be a bad move whatsoever for him. Also now Tottenham Hotspur target Wazza. Wazza's moved to Newcastle United, is moving towards a conclusion, and they're in the discussions over a £35 million package. Do you know, it's one where we should have really been a bit more active for this one, I think. And I think we've missed a chance here. I think we've missed a player here. I think we could have got him if he just said to Brentford, look, here's the money, take it. We both have Champions League football, but are Newcastle ahead of Tottenham in constantly qualifying for the Champions League? Are Tottenham? Did Tottenham get there by default by winning? Look, we finished 17th last season. Manchester United finished just above us. Newcastle did really well last season, won a trophy, finished in the top 5. And do you feel that it's all about? I'm trying to get out this right. What I'm trying to say, guys. It's all about where you think the club's going to be at the end of this season and the start of next season. And does Wazza look at it and think, do you know what? Newcastle are going to be there and thereabouts this season. And is it another year of growing at Spurs? Is it another year of developing, getting used to new tactics and a rebuilding job, and really make a go of it next season? And also, are we relying on too many of the old players that have been there for a while now, the likes of Richarlison and players like that? Should they be moved out pretty sharpish so we can get new blood in and new players in like a Wazza. I mean, I think this. I'm really disappointed that he's going to Newcastle because I think he would have been a really good fit for us. I really do, and I think it's a damn shame that he's going there. But let's see what you guys think. Well, forward to that, I'll get on next bit of news. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. There are several interesting parties looking to secure a deal for the naming rights. Um this is the very latest I actually got later this afternoon. Now no news yet on who, no news on when it will be done. All I know it's going to be done very soon. I think personally it's going to be announced the day the transfer window closes. Personally, I think that's when it will be announced. Um, and I think it's going to be interesting. It's going to be really interesting to see where this leaves Levy, where this leaves Enoch and the board. Who does come in? How much influence will they have? Do they want a certain percentage of the club? Do they want a certain percentage of, or do they want to buy the? See, we will give you the naming rights, but we want the football inside of the company. And I'd be very interested to see what happens. And this has been gathering pace, and over the last, say, couple of months now. And I think we're coming to the end game with this. I think we are. I think they will not announce it till after the transfer window shut, because if they announce it during the transfer window, then I think everything goes price Tottenham come in, or you can well afford it, then give us an extra couple of million. This is where I think it will be announced at the end of the window. But I'd be glad when it's over, to be fair, because I think this thing's been rumbling on, and it's ridiculous. And the amount of probably paperwork they have to sign and go through solicitors and back and forward, back and forward, back and forward, it's just ridiculous. It really is. But that's the latest I've got on that, guys. There are several interested parties. Now the several interesting parties, you can probably write them a list down yourself, write 7 down. But I have a funny feeling it could be Saudi Arabian or Qatari. I don't think it'd be American. But with the NFL, which I'm going to talk about in a minute as well, is there a link to that as well? So it's going to be very interesting. Tottenham Hotspur looking at Joe Palhinha. Tottenham Hotspur are monitoring Joe Palhinha situation. It is not concrete this stage, but there is interest. Palhinha's camp has been informed. Bayern are open to talk should a suitable offer arrive for the 30-year-old. This is a player I would love at Spurs. I think this is a player that will sit in front of the back four and do a job for you. I really do. And I think Tottenham have to go out and get this done. At 26 million, offer them what? 23 with add-ons? Then you get your player 20 million with add-ons. I think he would be such a good fit for Tottenham, and a good fit for Thomas Frank's system as well. He will sit there and just protect that back four. And I think that will give also confidence to Romero, Van der Ven, and whoever plays in the back four, plus Vicario or Kinksky, to have him there as an extra shield, have him there as an extra buffer, which I think is going to be vital for next season. I think if we get this done, I think this is the summer of the signing for me, unless we match it with something else. But I really do. And there's also talk about Gangrincio as well, coming from Manchester United. I think that would be a good move for Spurs as well on the left-hand side. I really do. And I think under a Thomas Frank system, I think you would get more out of that player. And Amaron said he wants these players gone before he comes back off the tour, where Rashford's gone to Barcelona, which I still cannot get my head around. I still can't believe that he went to Barcelona. I just can't get my head around that. I mean, how he did that, I don't know. But I think this would be an absolute diamond of a signing. Terry Wright says Paulinho is a great short-term signing. It would give Gray a couple of years to develop and eventually take over the role. Exactly. I 100% agree with you. Get you. David Clark says, I think Spurs needs naming rights company's Mothercare due to how many children that Spurs have signed. Nothing wrong with bringing in young players. The players are getting younger and younger, David. You know that yourself. Paulinho will be a good deal because we still owe some money from the Harry Kane. I think Levy loves this kind of. The money for Harry Kane, I think, was wrapped up within the Matthias Tel deal. And there's another question, guys. Matthias Tel. Again, I was watching the show earlier and they did ask the question. So I want to ask it to you guys. Matthias Tel, was that a Thomas Frank signing or a club signing? Because he did an interview, didn't he? And he said he was very excited by what he was seeing because he watched a few Brentford games and he's excited by what Thomas Frank can bring. So let me know what you guys think. I think it was a bit of both, to be fair. I think Thomas Frank would say, look, we're going to go and get this player. What do you think? And he might have said, do you know what? Yeah, okay. Or the Langs just said, right, we're going to buy him. And then you just work with them, which most chairmen do. Most clubs buy players and then give them to the manager to go and do their job and manage them. So that's what I think. I told you, Dermo, it's the Amamanco Arena. Well, you never know. You never know. Really, Richie clearly has no intention to leave this club. No, I don't think so either. I know if you are talking about Richarlison, I do you know what? I sort of agree with you that Richarlison needs to go. But if you get a fit Richarlison and get him going for a whole season fit, I think he can do a job for you. I think he can do a job for Thomas Frank. I really do. But is he the striker that we need? No. And I don't think Solanke is either, by the way. See, problem is when we had Harry Kane, we had a striker that did two roles. We're still missing that second part of the role. The one's going to sit in the 6-yard box and score your goals. Score your 20, 25 goals a season. And I think till we do that, we're going to struggle. We really will struggle. Now, while I was talking about naming rights and NFL and everything, and this is where I think this is the second thing on it, and could it be an American style takeover because of the NFL? Now, the NFL London fixtures have been announced. With the Vikings are playing versus the Browns on Sunday, the 5th of October, 2025 at 2:30 at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And then the Broncos are playing the New York Jets, I think. Is it the New York Jets? I don't know much about NFL. I'm trying to watch it every season when it comes. There's Sunday, the 12th of October, 2025 at 2:30 also on Sunday. So what do you guys feel about NFL being played at the stadium? I've got no problem with it. I think it's the stadium. Philip Brady put it in a way that I sort of agree with, that the stadium stays empty for half the year anyway. So why not gain extra money? If this money's coming back into the club, back into the football inside, then I'm all for it. I've got no problem with it. I really don't. And I think a lot of other clubs now are looking at the model we're using and they're going to start using it as well. I think you can slag Daniel Levy all you want, but I think he was ahead of his time with what we're doing at the stadium. Football clubs have to make income. They have to bring money in. And you can't do it now from just the football deal or do it through advertising or whatever. I think if you use your stadium, it brings in extra income. And this is what this stadium was built for. It wasn't built just for the football. It was built to be an entertainment stadium. And I get it. We all just want it to be like White Hart Lane. We all just want it to be just used for football. But sport and business and everything, things have moved on since the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s. The Premier League has evolved. Football clubs are evolving every year. And I think this is the next thing that is evolving into that. Football clubs have to bring an income from somewhere. They can't just rely on stadium money anymore because the players are on bigger wages. The transfer market is now getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So the clubs have to find a way to make extra income, have to way um have to make extra income some of the way. And we have signed a deal, if I'm right, last season to I think 20 am I right? 2030. I need to look that up. I will look it up to you. Um but we have to I just look, I think you'd be cutting your nose off to spite your face if you didn't think we had to do this. I really do. And I know a lot of people don't like it. And I understand why. I get it why people don't like extra activities done at the stadium. It should be just for use for football. That's it. I get it. I'm from a generation where I probably would agree with that. But you also got to look at times are changing. The pandemic hit a lot of clubs hard. Tottenham were one of the few clubs to come through that pandemic literally unscathed. Yes, we have a debt on the stadium, but the debt doesn't have to be start paid, I think, for another 4 years. And it's such a low debt anyway that I think it doesn't impact on the club too much. Now, I get it, fans don't want anything at the football club. They get it, just want it for football. That's it, end off. But I don't think that works. I don't think that's the way sport in general or football in general is going. And I think we've got to realize, or we've got to come to terms with, that the game we love is changing, it's evolving, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I feel this is the way football's going. This is the way sport's going. And I think football being one of the biggest games in the world, and I think the Premier League probably being one of the biggest domestic leagues in the world, everyone's just floating to it because they know that the amount of exposure and the amount of advertising and the amount of money they're going to make out of the Premier League is enormous. It's a goldmine. And the problem I have with this, at the end of the day, where I'm a realist that it has to happen. I think other clubs will follow. What happens when the bubble bursts? What happens when the money stops rolling in? What happens if Sky suddenly pull out, which I don't think they will, but just as an example, if Sky pull out the Premier League, then does everything go behind the paywall? Everything is behind the paywall at the moment. But does it like go into Netflix come in? What happens if there's a massive recession? And we at Tottenham, and I get your point. What's the point? I am gonna sort of argue back with you a little bit on this. He says, "What's the point of having all these concerts and NFL games at the stadium if they're not going to sign top players like Adam Morton, Memembo, Eze, Simeone, and Grealish? Because we're not attractive enough. That's why. Because we're not challenging for league titles. We're not constantly challenging for the top honours. Arsenal are challenging for the league for the last 3 years. Of course, Gyökeres is going to go there. Also, Arsenal going to pay him the wages. Look, Eze, we still don't know where he's going. He could still end up at Spurs. You know, the Brentford player, he only wanted to go to Manchester United. He didn't want to come to us. So, that was a no-starter altogether. And Adam Morton, Palace won 100 million for him. Is he worth 100 million? No. He's probably worth 50, 60 million, I think, in my opinion. Do you want some company? Yeah, if you want to come on, man. Yeah, if you feel up to it and you're okay. Yeah, okay, I'll send you the link. I'll put it into our private chat that we have. Do you know the one? The one with 4 of us in. I'll just put it in there. Just gone in there for you, bud. And we're not challenging for that because, yeah, exactly, David. I'm not gonna disagree with that. But it is. Do you know what do you want, David? I keep going back to this Ivan Scholar thing, right? And I know a lot of fans are probably don't think it's a load of bullshit. What's he talking about? We're the club that nearly went bust, nearly went to the wall, nearly went absolutely out of existence. And I know a lot of younger fans probably don't know what it was like by then. And I tell you one thing, I was a young fan back then, and it was horrendous. And there's people in the chat that do remember it. David Clark probably remembers it. Wayne Bonner remembers it. Probably Terry remembers it. There's a few people remembering where our club was going, down the tubes. Now, for whatever you think about Alan Sugar and Terry Venables, they came and saved the football club. Whatever you think of them, it doesn't matter what you think of them. It's your opinion, but they saved the football club. Then Alan Sugar then sold it to Enoch and Levy to take it on. Simon Jordan said Tottenham are now need a new captain. The last 24 years for Enoch and Levy was all about making this club sustainable, that it can stand on its own 2 feet financially, and then we don't have that problem again. Yes, the transfer market's gone absolutely mental. It really has. Players are going for worth far more now than they ever were. And yes, we should be challenging for them players. Yes, we should be getting players like Memembo, Eze, Simeone, Graukius. Yeah, I get it. I do get it. But it doesn't mean that the players want to come to us, because they don't want to come to us because we're not successful. If you look over the last 10 years, have Tottenham just qualified for Champions League. If you look at the likes of Man City, Chelsea, Arsenal, they're competitive in every competition they go into. We haven't. And you also have an owner that doesn't want to spend money. But we have spent it, but we spent it very badly. So I think football is evolving. I think sport is evolving. I think the game we love is not the same game we loved 10 years ago. And I think clubs have to find other ways to bring money in to subsidize the high wages, the high transfer market that's happening at the moment. And I think we either like it or don't like it, but it's here to stay. And I mean, Tequila, big up to you, man. I wasn't expecting you tonight. Thank you. It's really a pleasure to come on, have you on, man. But
I'm not Tequila, I'm Com. Let me talk to you, but I'm going to stop messing about.
Very well, very good.
I'll change to my avatar in a minute. I just thought since it gave me Com by default, I thought I'd do a little bit of impression of him.
Yeah.
One sec.
You sounded very much like our column, actually.
Get yours now.
Yeah. Look, do you look? I get it, right? I get it when people say that Levy hasn't done this, Levy hasn't done that, right? But if you look at football,
we're talking about Danny Boy again, are we?
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
But if you look at football as a whole, Tequila, right? Do you know, with wages going up, with transfer fees going up, clubs do have to subsidize, don't they, to make extra income? And you look at other clubs.
Some of them don't bother.
Yeah. No, but we know one of them doesn't bother.
Yeah, some of them just kid in the candy store, innit?
Yeah, but if you don't have a state ownership owner, it's very difficult to go out and get the best players, isn't it? Because we're not going to pay the wages.
Yes, yeah, but there's also. So I'll give you 2 examples of clubs which have been successful, although you might argue on one of them because technically they haven't won the trophy in a while. And I'm going to give you Liverpool and Arsenal. Now, wealthy owners for sure, but not state-owned. Wealthy, but not state-owned. Arsenal, as much as I hate it in particular, I know they don't. I know they want Arteta out, but with the exception really of Rice, who was a crazy money signing, they've spent quite well to get
That's
back where they have. If you remember, we were ahead of them
Yeah.
for a good 5 or 6 years.
Well,
Well,
yeah.
what they were what, 7th or 8th every season for a couple of seasons. And I hate giving them of all people any kind of credit, but they've spent well. They have broken the 100 million mark with Rice, but they have generally spent well, other than the striker department, which they've just fixed. So it can be done. It can, without being a state. It can. And Liverpool, the other example.
Yeah,
They've
exactly.
don't get me wrong. This year they've kind of gone a bit crazy with the money they've spent, but they won the title without spending that. They still spent money, but not state-owned.
Didn't they only buy one player last summer?
Exactly. Now the Klopp left him with a very good. Of course he did. Klopp left him with an extremely good team anyway.
Yeah.
But they then pushed on and won a title. People can say, well, City had a bad year and they let them win it. Maybe. But still, they still did.
I think Man City are in a complete rebuild. There's talk about Rodri might be going to Barcelona. And if
they're not favourites.
Him,
they're not. You can't look past Liverpool. If Liverpool go and get Isaac as well, they're going to run away with it, bruv.
They will. I think Isaac could be stupid to leave Newcastle, but look.
You think so? For Liverpool, of all places. For Liverpool.
Yeah.
Really?
Look, I get it. Like, what's the point? I get it. Levy won't pay him. I get that. But what's the point of, I mean, I get Terry White's probably spot on here. I don't think we're going to see much action in the market until Frank has fully evaluated the squad. And that goes with the double headers this weekend, Tequila. I was saying it earlier. Do you think that these double headers are the players' last chance to impress Thomas Frank before we go on the Asian tour?
I think that Terry does make a valid point, and I think it's always the problem, Dermo, when you bring in a manager. It's always the best time to get them because they're always going to be the cheapest. But when do they get a chance to assess the team? And the truth is that Frank might not know his best team until January.
Yeah.
It might take him half a season, because you can learn stuff in pre-season. I'm not saying you can't, but until you get into the grit of the weekly Premiership and the proper matches where there's stuff on the line, he might not be able to see the characters, and he might not yet be able to say, I trust this dude. I trust this dude. I trust this dude when the back's against the wall. I trust that one. I trust him.
Yeah.
I trust him. I don't. He probably can't make that assessment yet. He can't do it.
No.
So what do you do in that situation? Do you say, okay, hold off for this summer, spend a bit more in January? We know it's a harder window, but by then he'll have a better idea.
Yeah.
But a year from now, he will have all the information he needs. But us Spurs fans are not going to wait a year.
Are we too? Do you think the win in the Europa League has whetted our appetite? I think it has whetted our appetite to move on. And I think that, look, I look at the first window under Ange with Paratici and look at the players we bought in that window: Vicario, Romero, Udogie, Porro. The Porro was a January deal.
He was bought for Conte. Was Porro?
Was he bought for Conte?
He was bought as a wing back for. So was Ndoki. They were both bought to fit into Conte's system. Conte never ever had a chance to play both of them because he was gone before Ndoki got there.
But do you feel that the window? Do you feel we've missed Paratici as in the sort of director of football role or whatever? I think we have.
I think Paratici, I'm not convinced on his signing of young players, but I think that when you look at the signings for the first team, there's been more hits than misses. I think that's fair. Mostly from the Italian leagues, but were you expecting anything different? Of course he knows the Italian leagues. Of course he does. That's where his connections are, Dermo.
Yeah. I was talking about Sonny, and look, we know Los Angeles FC have put in the bid for Sonny. We know there is going to be a discussion between Frank and Sonny as well. We know Tottenham want to keep Sonny for the Asian tour. because they're going to lose money if they don't. I think if Sonny goes or doesn't play, they lose. I think it's up to 75% they can earn. If Sonny doesn't go at all, they lose 50% of their income that they would have made on that tour. Where are you on Sonny? I feel Sonny should have the club should show him some respect to let him make his own decisions, and that I feel Sonny is more. I know we had a discussion the other night, but if you look at Harry Kane and all the antics he got up to when Man City were in for him, a lot of people can say no, he didn't, but he didn't. He was making ruckus in the background because he wanted to go to Man City. Sonny has not done that. Sonny has kept his head down, worked hard, stayed with us every season under Mourinho, Conte, Nuno, and he won something. So do you feel that Sonny is more of a legend at Tottenham than Harry Kane is?
No, not out of those two. I do think Sonny. The word legend, the
word legend gets banded around too much. I will agree with that. What would you call them then? All right, who showed more commitment to Tottenham then?
Okay, so what we'll never know, unfortunately, there's only ever been rumours. We'll never know unless Sonny writes a book at some point, and you never know. Most of the footballers do in the end. We'll never know how many chances Sonny had to go. We know Kane had plenty. It was obvious multiple times from a lot of big clubs. I'm sure that Sonny's a great player, especially in his prime. I'm sure plenty of clubs would have came in for him, but we'll never know how many. So we'll never know if he had the same temptations as Kane did. We know that Kane's head was turned by City, right? Yes, he got back on track after 6 months and had a decent season in the end, but his head was still turned. We don't know if anything like that ever came in for Sonny.
No,
so
that's
it's hard.
True.
It's hard to really put a thing.
Yeah.
I think Sonny is a legend, but I don't think he's an all-time legend. He's that tier below.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it.
Do you consider him as much as a legend as someone like Glenn Hoddle? I don't think you do.
Look, for me, Glenn Hoddle is a Tottenham god. That's who Glenn Hoddle is. But I do feel that, in my opinion, that Sonny stuck it out. He didn't waver. We don't know how many bids come into it. You are right. You're right to say that. But you look at history, and Harry Kane had 2 chances to leave, and he wanted to leave because we weren't going anywhere. Sonny stuck it out. Sonny said, no, I'm going to stay. I'm going to become captain, and we're going to win something with this team. And he got his reward in the end. And I've always said it, and I said it for the internationals as well, for Jack Grealish and Declan Rice. I said, you can go to play for England where you're guaranteed to qualify for a World Cup. Is that going to be satisfying? Not really. Or you can stay with the team that gone you through your youth academy, the Irish side. And if they qualify for a World Cup with Ireland, does that make it more satisfying? Yes, it does. Because Ireland are not guaranteed to get to every World Cup European Championships. England are guaranteed more likely to qualify for every major tournament. So is it more satisfying to qualify for England? Well, they're probably sitting there and go, yeah, it is satisfying. I don't think it is. It wouldn't satisfy me. I will want to do it with the team that helped me. And I think Sonny's been that way, that Sonny's been that determined. I'm going to win something with Tottenham if it's going to kill me. I'm going to stick around here. I'm going to do it.
I think I think they're both like that. I know that Kane eventually did go, but I think if you really look at it, he easily could have gone. Maybe he's close. Maybe 3 seasons, maybe even 4. If you really think about it,
yeah,
he went. You know, he could have gone 3 or 4 years earlier to a massive club, and he would end.
I think he wanted to go.
He probably did. And
And
by now, Dermo, he probably would have multiple trophies rather than just the one Bundesliga. He probably would have several if he would have gone like 4 years. So I agree with you, maybe comparing the two, but I don't think. I think Kane gets a bit too much slack. We got a lot of money for him. He could have just turned around and said, "I'm going to go on a free. You're not going to get a penny for me. I'm going to go on a free." If he really wanted to stay, Kane could have stayed.
I don't think Levy would have let that happen. I think he would have been out the door anyway. And I think
You can't force a player to go, Dermo. You know as well as I do nowadays. You can't force a player to go. You can't.
I just want to ask you about Morgan Gibbs-White and what he's doing. Do you think he's doing? You look at Douglas Luiz. He's missing training at Juventus. There's fines flying all over the place. Do you think Morgan Gibbs-White is actually doing it the right way, keeping his head down, getting on with his football? I think you said it the other night. Getting on with, he's getting good, solid advice. Would you rather have a player like that at your club, or a player like Douglas Luiz, say if Manchester City come in for him or Real Madrid, and we won't let him go? So he says, right, I'm not turning up for training. Who would you prefer at the football club?
I think I'd rather the professional.
Yeah.
To be honest, I mean, they're a dying breed, Dermo. There's more footballers, and this is nothing to do with anybody's talent, by the way. I'm just talking about characters. There's more footballers who will probably react more like Douglas Luiz does than NGW does. So,
yeah. Couple of comments here. We've got Terry Wright says Sonny's on his way to LA, and I think he'd be terrific in the MLS. It's Grundy. Do you think they'll announce it after the Asian tour, which I think they may do?
Levy's a very smart businessman. Why would you jeopardize 75% of? I'm not sure how much they're going to make, but it's probably going to be a decent chunk of change. Why would you turn your nose at that?
Exactly. Big up Jerry. Steve Perryman stuck it out and won it. Yeah, he did. David Clark says, I would call Son an excellent servant at our club, but all sport at the highest level should be based on performances and nothing else. And Sonny's ability has waned and should go. I think Sonny, I think age has caught up with him. I think his last injury has caught up with him, to be fair. I think he lost a yard of space for the last injury. I think he was never the same player again.
I understand what David's saying. I just don't think I haven't seen yet that Sonny's levels dropped that much. I'm not saying he's the player he was, but you're talking about, is he really not good enough to even like be a squad player? Is he dropped down that far that he can't even play any competitive games for us? He can't be a squad player anymore even. You think he's dropped down that much? I don't think he has. He's not the player he was. I'm not for a second saying he is. He's not. But no. We really can't find use for him in the whole squad for however many games we're going to play. Maybe 60 games or 50 games this season. You might end up playing. We can't find placing him.
I think we should. I think we can, but I think he'd be great as a sub to come on for the last 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Or half an hour. Bit of pace. I think they didn't play to Sonny's strengths last season. I don't think the system that we played last season actually suited a lot of players, Tequila. I think it actually went against how players play. And I feel a Frank system is going to suit a lot of players better than I'm not sure. Last season.
I was saying this at the time, although I was getting hammered for it, but I'm not sure. Again, I don't really want to talk about the dude, but I don't think that any particular player under our last manager, I won't even say his name, progressed. I don't think they did. And I think you've more or less just said that there, Dermo. More or less. I don't think any of them did.
So. I don't think you would have got the best. I don't think you got the best out of Solanke. I don't think you got the best out of Brendan Johnson. I don't think you got the best out of Sonny. I don't think you got the best out of Mateus Tell or Odebar. I think our midfield was a mess because we played with a high line.
I don't think the midfield knew what they were doing because they had two fullbacks more or less coming in their positions. Yeah. Everyone was walking into each other.
Yeah, you're probably right on that.
You could, well, I mean, Ange obviously believed in it, right?
Mm.
And why would he not? He had success in other places with it, sure. But most footballers probably are like, "What's this system you want me to do?"
I
don't get
think
it.
the first 10 games, it confused everyone. Once they worked it out, we were easy to play against. We were so wide open.
Bang on. Yeah, I think you're bang on. Yeah.
And
Yep.
when you look at our Europa League win, we played in a very different way when we played in Europe.
He had to play. He had to go against his grain and play much more defensive, didn't he?
Yeah. And that suited the players that were playing. I also think that looking back on it now, and I think also everyone has to take responsibility for last season. I think he has to take responsibility for the injuries. I think the medical staff have to take responsibility for not doing their jobs. But I think the biggest problem for me, okay, when we played Chelsea and it was announced Romero and Romero and Van der Ven were playing. And I remember being on Dave's show and going, right, okay, if they're fit, then we're back. How long did that last? Half an hour. Both came out, never to be seen again for nearly the rest of the season.
Comical. Yeah, it's comical.
Do you feel that Thomas Frank has brought a bit of common sense now to the role? Do you think I think he has. I think Thomas Frank has come in and I think he's gone, do you know what? A bit of organization, a little bit of tactical nous here. And I think I've got a winning squad here. Sprinkle it with a little bit of style. Sprinkle it with a little bit of a player that will, a bit of magic that will turn a game on its head. But I think defensively, Tequila, we're going to be a lot harder to play against this season than we were last season.
I think Thomas Frank is much more of an organised man than Ange. He comes across that way just in general. I don't mean just as a football sense. Ange obviously was a very passionate dude. He has his way. He was stubborn, and that was his way. I think Frank is. I use the word adaptable, and I think that's still it. He's going to adapt, and that adaptability will win us will get us points that we might not think we might get next season. How far is it going to take us? I don't know, but I think that you'll see that. I think we'll see probably within the first half of the season. We'll start to see him changing things at half time, which Ange hated doing. Hopefully, we'll see better use of subs, which, let's be honest again, Dermo, was not exactly the man's strong point.
Me and Kevin did a watch along last season, near the end of the season, right? And we both said within 10 minutes doing the watch along, Disney's changing.
Yeah.
And we both said it needs changing. And it didn't change until the 70th minute.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, even Alex Ferguson, even the great managers, Bill Nick, if he saw something wasn't working, he would tweak it straight away.
Yeah. And I think Frank's in that mold. I sure hope he is.
Yeah. With the games on Saturday, then the Asian tour, and then of course we got Bayern Munich, then the Super League Tequila. What are you looking for the next sort of 4 games? What do you want to see over the next 4 games? I mean, do you want to see? I mean, I want to see a bit more organization, how we're going to play. I think I want to see more players getting fit and getting more ready for the season. And I think it's important that structurally and that the players take on board what he's trying to do at Tottenham. And I don't think his tactics are that hard to understand, Tequila. I don't think they're that complicated.
They won't be as complicated as I think Ange tried. In my opinion, the word I'm using is tried. People might agree or disagree with that statement. Who tried to make it complicated? I think a lot of players. There's always going to be exceptions. Want it made maybe a little bit more simple. I'm a fullback. You want me to do what? You want me to overlap and put crosses in? Okay. Porro's good at that.
Yeah.
And Doggy's good. And Doggy's good with running with the ball. They can do that. Fine. I'm a fullback. I don't want to go into the centre midfielders. That's what the centre midfielders for. Why you put me in a centre midfield? That's fullback. Yeah. Just give you an example. So
yeah.
We don't. Mr. E's right. We don't know Frank's system yet. And to
No.
answer your question, Dermo, that's what I'm looking for. I wanted to get an idea of what his system's going to be because we still don't know. Is he going to go 3 at the back? Is he going to go? I think he's going to go 4 at the back, but I can't say that for sure. I think he'll go 4, but we won't know.
I think he'll go 4 at the back at home and 3 in the back away.
Interesting.
I really do. That's just, I love to see that. Look, Tequila, we'll leave it there. There isn't a lot of news about today. It's been very quiet.
No, not really.
Extremely quiet. Yeah, we are back tomorrow, guys, at 8.
Can I ask you a question, Dermo, before you end
Of course
up?
you can.
I might have already missed this because obviously I only just got in. I was late getting in. This Morgan gives white stuff. Have you had enough?
Yeah.
Are you pulling the plug like me now and just like I'm done? Can we just go somewhere else now?
No. He's coming.
You still think he's going to turn up?
He will be here. He will be a Spurs player.
And what does people in the chat say when you said that then? Because I wasn't here.
I didn't really talk about it because there's been so much said about it. He's joined up with the Forest preseason team today. I just think he's doing it the right way. He's doing it professionally. And I think that shows what sort of a player and a person he is.
Aren't you worried, Dermo? Be honest for me, that this is delaying our whole bloody transfer window, this bloody thing. And we've seen this before. He just gets hold up, and we just freeze. We act like there's no other players in the world in the world, and we just fixate on this. Doesn't it feel like that?
Not really, because the Polonia deal is actually heating up. We could be getting him in. I think now what we're doing, we're looking and selling players before we bring more players in. I think that's what we're doing. We're lining up our ducks in the row to bring players in. And the thing is, we need to get players out. So like a Basuma for Polonia. We need to get a Richie for a striker. We need to get a Dragosin out for another centre-back. I think that's where we're at the moment. I think there's no other clubs really doing much business at the moment. I think
Liverpool.
Liverpool. Other than Liverpool, but I think a lot of clubs are away on tour. I think it's very hard to get business done while you're away on your overseas tours. So I think it'll be probably the first week in August we'll see business being done again. But no, Morgan Gibbs-White will be a Spurs player. I absolutely will put €1,000 on it that he will be a Spurs player.
Somebody take that one. Dermo, don't say those things. Going to lose money now.
I already said I'd do the show in my boxer shorts if you don't get Morgan Gibbs-White.
Really? When did you say that? Did you say that, guys? Okay, right then. I didn't know him say that one. I heard you say that you. No, I heard you say you were going to do an England game if Rodrigo signed, but you knew that was a safe bet.
Yeah,
that one was a safe one.
That was never going to happen. But Tequila, thank you so much.
No worries, mate.
I take it by your caption you didn't have a good day.
No, I just wanted to get my little message across. If you don't live in England, be thankful, guys. If you live in England and you're ill, I feel for you. Let's put it that way.
I keep telling you, come to Ireland.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Listen, we are back tomorrow night at 8. Any more news, but tomorrow there is a couple of member shows as well, guys, during the day. We've got a member shows, pre-game thoughts for Wickham and Luton. We've got the predicted lineups as well. I've had a little play around. I've put a new design on them, and I've put that into the private chat. So have a look, Tequila. Let me know what you think. A new design. But yeah, we're back tomorrow, guys. Thank you all for watching. Any more breaking news, we'll bring to you first and fastest here, as we always do. Oh, I know what I forgot to do, and I might as well do it. Do you want to link up our channel sponsor?
Oh, you forgot the great Com and his Get Yours Now. Well, let's get his now. Go on then.
Yeah. Go on then.
Here
Let me talk to you. A little reference there. But I'm going to stop messing.
And that's all she wrote.
Stop messing about.
Let me talk to you. A little reference there. But I'm going to stop messing about. I'm going to talk to you about private internet access, the best VPN in the land. Now, when you're online, you may not realize, but all of your data is there for the taking by anybody. With a VPN such as private internet access, your data is safe and secure, streamlined, and nobody else can get hold of it. That's why I use one anyway. VPN's very easy to use, private internet access. All you got to do is log on your phone, select where you want to be. So I want to be in America, and I click go, and there we are. You can also link up your devices to it from your phone if that is easier for you. It's available on a lot of platforms as well. As you can see, and you can use it for a very, very big range of things. So that's even better as well. You can use it, like I said, on all your devices, smartphone, tablets, gaming consoles, and stick it on your modem. And it's unlimited devices. One equals all. It's available all across the world, and it works perfectly. What they do is they mask your IP address, so pesky 3 o'clock kickoffs aren't an issue anymore, and they're independently audited, so there's no logs, 30 million customers, and 4.5-star Trustpilot rated excellent review. Private internet access. Get yours now.
And yes, guys, there is a special offer. There is 85% off until Sunday. So do get there. If you do, you will miss out on 85% off for 2 years plus 4 months free. After that, it goes back up to €45 for 2 years plus 4 months free. So do private internet access, our new channel sponsor for the 25-26 season. So looking forward to that. Tequila, it's been great to have you on, bud. Wasn't expecting you to come on, but I really appreciate it.
I just got in late, and I just wanted to, just gonna chill out for. I saw you on. I just thought I'd come and talk Spurs for 10 minutes.
That's it. Puts your mind at ease. It does put your mind at ease. Guys, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Come on, you Spurs! In the big. I was about to say in Andrew Trust. I really was. I had to stop myself. In Thomas Frank, we trust. We never stop.
It's who we are, mate.
Good night.
Eyes on the